Hi, everybody. Welcome into Sports Talk Chicago. My name's Jon Zaghloul. Great to have you here. The debut show here on BPOD TV, channel 59.3, and on Roku. We have a great show for you today. The Bears had such a tough showing on Sunday Night Football. We'll talk about where they went wrong and what to expect come next week. That comes up in just a moment. Remember, before we get started, make sure you follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Jon Z Sports and on Facebook at Jon Zaghloul. If you want to watch more of this show, more by interviews, and what to expect for this show moving forward, find me on YouTube at Sports Talk Chicago or at sportstalkchicago.com. And make sure you subscribe to the BPOD TV YouTube page as well for special clips, more interviews, and great content. Before we start today, I have to tell you about State Farm agent Brian McDevitt. A lot of our listeners have gone to him for all their insurance needs. He's been very helpful in getting them the coverage they deserve. There's no game with Brian. He's just here to help and make sure you feel safe. So if you have insurance needs and you haven't called him yet, what are you waiting for? Dial up the number, 630-796-2662. That's 630-796-2662. Find him online at bryanismyagent.com. That's bryanismyagent.com. And make sure to mention Sports Talk Chicago. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Want to start today with this. Who'd you blame last year for the Bears' problems? Come on, you can be honest with me. Probably Mitch Trubisky, right? Maybe Nick Foles. Maybe the quarterback position in general. You said Mitch Trubisky is too turnover prone. They don't throw the ball downfield. Mitch Trubisky isn't skilled enough to get the job done. If we had a good quarterback, we'd be fine. So the Bears blamed Mitch, made him the scapegoat, threw him out of town. Next thing you know, we're watching Sunday Night Football Week 1. And ironically enough, we see the same game plan on display. No changes. New quarterback, no changes. 5-yard pass. 5-yard pass. 4th down and 4. Can't convert. 4th down and 15. 5-yard pass called. David Montgomery, 108 yards. Let's run the ball only 10 times. Not good enough? When will we start to admit, no, it's not the quarterback. No, it's not even the defense. Although the defense didn't have a good game, we'll talk about that soon. The main thing is the play calling. Matt Nagy is not a talented head coach. Maybe he's a great guy off the field, but I've seen enough. Say what you want. You could say Mitch Trubisky was not a great quarterback. He was run out of town for Nagy's sake. That bringing Andy Dalton does nothing. I'll tell you this much. Would not have made a difference if Justin Fields started. You know why? Game plan would have been the same. 5-yard pass, 5-yard pass. Oh, 4th down and 4. What are we going to do? Can't convert. 4th down and 15. Let's call a 5-yard pass. The hell is that? Got people saying to take out Andy Dalton last night. Andy Dalton needs to respond with a touchdown here. If he doesn't, it's time to put in Justin Fields. That's the last thing to do. What? You're blaming Andy Dalton for executing a game plan that he's been given. Really think Andy Dalton wants to throw 3-yard passes, 2-yard passes, throw a wide receiver screen in the flat? No! But what more is he supposed to do? It's what he's told to do by Matt Nagy. How about this from David Hall? He's going to be on the program soon. Quote, if you're going to bring in the rookie 4 plays into the game for his ability in the red zone, maybe don't take him out after 1 snap in the red zone. I don't understand that. Somebody explain it to me. Why does it make sense put in Justin Fields for 4 or 5 snaps, have him run for a touchdown, then take him out? What's the point? Look, before the season I said Justin Fields should not play right away. I still stand by that. That offensive line did not look good last night. Andy Dalton was always under pressure. He got sacked 3 times. Here's the bigger issue, though. Why are we switching quarterbacks here? Why are the Bears choosing to go one, then the other. I was really aggravated last night. Andy Dalton put together a good drive, the one that Justin Fields ran in for the touchdown. Fields gets the credit and didn't do any of the work. I'm not saying it's his fault, but why is Justin Fields getting the recognition when Andy Dalton drove him down there 15 plays to get to the end zone? Didn't get it. Still don't get it. Quote from Aaron Lemon. Bears fall short on another 4th down and short opportunity. Matt Nagy continuing to do the same things that haven't worked in the last 3 years, putting themselves in a 2nd and 3rd and long spot. Fourth down at 15, and Nagy is passing in a field goal try. Anyone willing to blame the coach now? No? Are we still going to say it's the quarterback? Are we going to say it's Andy Dalton? I'll tell you this much. I'm not a big Andy Dalton fan, but I know he can throw the ball more than 5 yards down the field. Not an idiot. He has to do that to be in the NFL. 33,000 passing yards entering the season. 5 playoff appearances. I'm not saying he's a superstar. I'm not saying he's great. But I guarantee you, he can throw the ball more than 10 yards. But no, let's keep going 5-yard dink and dunk down the field. At the end of the day, you're not going to do anything with that strategy. I want to say this too. This really got me mad. For those of you watching, and many of you here in the Chicago area, you know what I'm about to say. The Bears' hallmarks, what are they? Defense, running the football. That's it. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. There's no offensive prowess. This team has been known to run the football, ground and pound, great defense. Why in the world do you keep limiting David Montgomery? You know, it's so funny. Jordan Howard was a 1,300-yard rusher. Matt Nagy comes here, 900 yards, and they ship him off. Bring in David Montgomery. Never gets a chance to run the football. Who is Matt Nagy? What does he think he is? To abandon a Bears hallmark for whatever reason. David Montgomery averaged 6.8 yards per carry, and you're telling me only run the ball 10, 15, 20 times at most. David Montgomery's not getting at least 20 to 30 rushes per game. Why even put him out there? What's the point of having him on the field? Touchdown run, 6.8 yards per carry, 108 yards, and we're only going to run the ball a couple of times. Makes no sense. Bears hallmark, run the football, Walter Payton. And even recently, think about it, Thomas Jones, Matt Forte, Jordan Howard. Bears have always been good at least running the football. But not going to do it anymore. Not good enough. Damian Williams looked like crap, but hey, David Montgomery did great. Shouldered the load in the run department. Really getting under my skin because this is Montgomery's 3rd year. And we see the same patterns continuing. It'd be different if, okay, Matt Nagy learned from his mistake and now he's going to run the ball more, commit more to the run. We're seeing the same stuff we've seen before. Just to make sure you know this too, Mark Trestman, whom the Bears ran out of town understandably, had a better offensive production than Matt Nagy has. See, the Bears' defense has been better recently, so Nagy's record reflects that. But Mark Trestman, the Canadian Football League coach who knew nothing, had a better offensive production than Matt Nagy. I'd argue the rosters are pretty much the same, too. It's not like there's a lack of talent. Maybe there's a problem with the wide receiving core, but overall, good running back. He's had decent enough quarterback play. Allen Robinson, Darnell Mooney. There's enough there. Engineer good drives, and they still can't do it. Not when you're calling wide receiver screens and getting tackled behind the line. Not when you're calling a 4-yard pass on 4th down and 15. Not going to win games by playing like that. And I get it. The Bears were not supposed to be great this year. The Bears were supposed to lose this game. They were 6-point underdog. I understand. But the problem is they actually play competitive football. They were in it. They were actually in the game. and they took themselves out of it. It was a poor offensive play, poor execution, and oh yeah, the defense. I give some people credit, especially my YouTube audience, who all suggested the defense is going to regress. The defense is going to regress. They're getting older, not as much personnel, had to lose some guys due to salary cap issues like Kyle Fuller. Desmond Trufant was cut. I don't know what the hell we saw yesterday. Two blown coverages downfield. They make Matthew Stafford look amazing. Look, I'm not saying he's a bad quarterback, but you know what? The Bears contained him for years here in Detroit. Now, all of a sudden, Matthew Stafford's a great QB. Look at this stat. New Rams quarterback Matthew Stafford became the first player in NFL history with at least 300 passing yards, 3 touchdown passes, and no picks in a winning debut with his new team. Did it against the Bears. Because the Bears can't defend. Eddie Jackson, blown coverages way downfield. 2 deep balls that were wide open receivers downfield. What the hell are we watching? What happened to this team? Everybody said it's the quarterback. They fixed the quarterback, they'll win. Prominent people here in Chicago said start Justin Fields. If you don't, that'll be the main difference maker. No. Andy Dalton executed the game plan for the most part, despite the interception. That was not the issue. The issue was the game plan itself and the defense. I don't care who your quarterback is. If you have a secondary giving up 2 long touchdown passes way downfield to open wide receivers, guess what? Not going to win. And as we know, this Bears team, even though Matt Nagy is an offensive guru, they're not going to win games that involve shootouts. If you challenge the Bears to score a touchdown, boy, it's going to be a challenge. It's going to be a pretty damn hard challenge. You tell the Bears, drive downfield. Score from the 20, go downfield, drive 80 yards. That's going to be a long, laborious process. 16 plays, 17 plays, penalties, third down conversions. I don't get it. What's so hard about it? Why is it so difficult? Every other team in the NFL, they move with ease. The Rams moved with ease yesterday. Covered 80 yards in 2 minutes. And the Bears, we have to wait so long, take up so long at the quarter just to score 1 touchdown. Added up to here with this performance. Now, some of you will say, John, it's only week 1, calm down. Remember, it's been a couple of years. This is not Matt Nagy's first rodeo. It'd be different if it's his first year. Want to give him some time to develop as a coach. We're seeing the same habits for years now. This is nothing new, nothing different. Something has to change now. I'm so sick of seeing David Montgomery get 15 carries. Sick of 4-yard passes and a 4-yard pass called on a 4th and 15 when you could have gone for a field goal. And yes, I'm even sick of the quarterback thing. Pick one. I don't care who it is. I don't want Justin Fields to start right away, but you know what? Pick one. Be a decisive head coach. Not we'll see. No. Make a decision. If you want Justin Fields to start so badly, if you want to cave into public opinion, do it. What's the point in putting him in at the 3-yard line to run it in for a touchdown, to knife in, as Jeff Joniak said on the call, and then put him out? To throw 2 passes for 10 yards and take him out. Can't believe it's only week 1. I don't know how the rest of this year is going to go, but if last night was any indication, my goodness, it's going to be a long season. I am so appalled by this performance. Beyond appalled by this performance. My gosh. This is not an overreaction, because it's been happening for years. This is not new. It'd be different if this was new. But no, it's not. By the way, another funny strategy thing, just so you know. Justin Fields came in when he ran for the touchdown. They took out Andy Dalton at the 3. Isn't that pretty easy for a defense to sniff out? Usually. Think about it. At the 3-yard line, first down, second down, and goal, and you bring in Justin Fields, what the hell do you think is going to happen? You think he's going to throw the ball? Andy Dalton could throw a football 3 yards. No, it was obviously going to be a run. Everybody in the whole building knew it. I can't believe he got in. See my point? Commit to a quarterback. Stop waiting. You're actually hurting yourself and hurting your strategy play calling wise by switching back and forth. I get it. Everybody does it. A couple years ago, Lamar Jackson, Joe Flacco in Baltimore did it. They had Flacco as the starter, won a couple of games. Lamar came in here and there, ran the ball a bit, threw it like once or twice. Then they put him in, and they kept winning, went to the playoffs. Fine. But John Harbaugh's not an idiot. He knows when to deploy Lamar and when to not do it. I don't know what Matt Nagy's doing. I'll be honest with you, I have no clue what's going on over there. I'm still just appalled by what I saw. The real problem is there are some talented players on this team. Really, there are. I mean, a couple of guys had good games. Roquan Smith, 6 tackles. Khalil Herbert, great game returning. 26.5 yards per return. Great job. I mean, that was nice. There were some definite bright spots for this team. David Montgomery, are you kidding me? The guy is forcibly being benched in a sense. He's not given the ball a lot, but when he has it, he takes advantage. There were good things, but the bad certainly outweighed the good. The play calling is atrocious. I've already seen enough. But no, we have to let Matt Nagy continue to use the playbook. No, it's funny too, last year, many of you maybe don't remember this, the end of the season, when the Bears started to lose against Green Bay, then New Orleans. Porter asked Matt Nagy about the play calling situation. Nagy said, well, me and Bill Lazor kind of switched up after Nagy claimed he gave the playbook to Bill Lazor. No one cared about it because everyone was so concerned about Mitch Trubisky. And again, obviously, he was not the problem. So Nagy lied last year when it came to play calling. Now this year, he has the playbook, and well, look where it got the Bears. 206 passing yards and 108 rushing yards. Whoop-dee-doo. 14 points. Classic Matt Nagy. I'm telling you, this is true statistically. Mark Trestman had a more productive offense than Matt Nagy. The guy everybody said was a horrible coach, right? I'm not saying he was great. Was not a strong leader, but you know what? He did know how to run an offense. Better than Nagy. Good offensive coordinator. What's Nagy's role even? I mean, based on what I've seen, he's not even a good OC. The real shame is this, though. By the time, hopefully, Nagy is gone and Justin Fields really develops into a good quarterback, now the defense is going to be bad. By the time, finally, Justin Fields gets play calling catered to him, and he's developed and he's ready to go, MVP-esque candidate, there's going to be no defense. We talked about it before the season. If you watched me on YouTube, the Bears only had 4 quarterbacks make the team initially on the 53-man roster after the cuts. Based on last night, we saw where that got him. I really don't know what to say and what to make of this. Bears fans, if I would you speak up and speak loudly. Can't have this stuff stand anymore. It's been 4 years. It'd be different if this was the beginning. All of you blame Mitch Trubisky, Mike Lennon, Nick Foles, and I'm not saying they're great quarterbacks. But you know what? There's a resounding theme here, because now we saw with Andy Dalton. And I'll tell you this much, Andy Dalton is better than all three of them. You're really going to tell me this is a quarterback issue? You're really going to try and convince me if they had a good quarterback, they'd be great. Well, they have a better one, and they have Justin Fields, and what happened? And the defense giving up 34 points to Los Angeles is an indictment on Sean Desai, the new defensive coordinator, and on the personnel for this team. Something has to change. I know it was the preseason, but you gave up 40 points to Mitch Trubisky with your first stringers in. Now the games count, and you're giving up 34 to the Rams. Can't contain them, can't stop them. They ran the ball well, Henderson. And they threw the ball downfield perfectly. Blown coverages left and right, easy targets. This team does not look good. I said before the season a 6-11 record. That might have been generous in retrospect. Now the Bears face the Bengals week 2. FYI, the Bengals won week 1 over the Vikings. Joe Burrow looked great. Jamar Chase looked great. I watched that game during the day. It's going to be a tough and tall task for this team to even string together a couple of wins this year. At the end of the season, when we talk about end of the year press conferences, what's going to happen? I hope the resounding theme is fire Matt Nagy and improve, hopefully, this defense, because what I saw was a total farce and a joke, and that is not Bears football that I know and that I grew up loving. Thank you all for watching this debut episode on BPOD TV. We'll be back tomorrow with a Zoom interview with the legendary Mike North. Mike North will be on with me. We are going to talk more about this Bears game and preview what's to come against Cincinnati. So long. More to come here on Sports Talk Chicago. My interview with Mike North comes up next, so stay tuned.